guys. We are live from the Reseller Nirvana room. We'll call it the Reseller Nirvana
Yeah.
room. So, in here, my goal will be to make $70,000 profit working 5 hours a week. So, the title says I failed, right? Okay, so I failed at getting this room ready by today. It's going to take me at least 4 more hours to clean this room out. I have a few more things to get out of here, but I will set this room up. And I was thinking I would actually love to have this be the YouTube studio so that you guys could get my weekly updates.
Hmm.
Inside here, I'm gonna run a Poshmark closet until I get my eBay reinstated. Currently, I'm suspended, but I feel like since I didn't do anything illegal, and I think I bring eBay more business than pretty much any other influencer. Hopefully, one day I will get back on the platform. But in the meantime, I'm actually enjoying Poshmark so far. So, the first week on Poshmark, I had an event here two Fridays ago, and I listed 35 items live. So it took me 30 minutes to do 30, or I'm sorry, 31 minutes to do 35 sets of photos, so a little under a minute per photo. My setup for the photos is over there on the break room table, and it took me like 20 minutes to set it up. And I want to let people know like it's really important when you're just getting started to just get started and start learning how to sell things. And today the quote of the day is from Maya Angelou. Is it Angelou or Angelo? Maya Angelou. She says, "Do the best you can until you know better, and then do better." So there's like a lot of fuss about this $20 profit thing, and people are saying, "Chris, I can't find $20 profit items. This is a scam." Of course you can. It's just going to take some time to learn what they are. So of course, going to the thrift store and finding $20 bills everywhere is not going to be easy in the beginning, and there's going to be times where you pick up something that you think is a $20 bill might actually be worth nothing. So it's important to slowly improve your knowledge in your Rolodex. I want people to like take a second right now and not get discouraged. I don't know how to like give you guys what I have, but I don't get discouraged when I can't reach my goals. I just don't know enough or haven't learned what to do yet to reach my goals. So right now, my current goal is to sell 1,000 items per week on my Whatnot stream at $20 profit. I don't know how to do that yet, but I'd like to do that. Ultimately, I would sell 4,500 items per month at $20 profit. That's the goal for the Whatnot stream. I'm working on that and learning how to do it. I have no doubt I'll eventually get there. It's a lifetime goal, not a goal for tomorrow or next week. In this room, my goal is to sell 70 $20 items per week, 10 per day. I think 10 per day is a very reasonable number. In the group, we talk about 13 times 20, which is six-figure income. So it's $99,000 a year if you can sell 13 $20 items per day. And it's just going to take time to look through it. So this morning, Carrie said she went to 15 thrift stores and found 15 items that were $20 profit. And she was getting discouraged because she's like, I'm doing all this driving and I'm only finding one item per store. And in my opinion, if you're finding one or two items per store, that's still pretty good. It's not like she's a failure because she only found one item per store. It's just she might be too narrow. She's currently only selling in one category, so you might want to, as an example, if you're selling jackets, maybe also learn sweaters, also learn blazers. There's like a similar way to take photos, similar measurements. An item that doesn't require you to change your photo setup and is similar. That's why clothing sellers I consider one category, even though you're doing tops and bottoms. That way you can go to the store, maybe make better use of your time in finding those $20 profit items. But the worst thing you can do is try to squeeze all those items out of one store. That does not work. There's a lady in our group who just started and she said, I went to the store and bought 100 things, wasn't sure if they were good or not, but just getting started. No, do not do that. Do not buy 100 random things at the store. Do your homework and take your time and look for those $20 profit items in the beginning. If you only find one, that's fine. One item that you list and sell is better than 100 that you don't list and don't sell. So in my Poshmark closet, I listed 35 items. First week of those 35 items, I sold 24 of them. So 24 of the 35 items I listed. I also, because I have a lot of overstock, a lot of items that I have replenishables of, I was listing those items too. I want to make sure I list every single day. So I listed 51 total items the first week and actually sold 54 items. So some of the items I sold four or five or six of the same item because currently it's getting warm. So all the sandals that I have, I'm prioritizing listing those first to get the traction and velocity going. Also on Poshmark, I need to get it to same day shipping. Right now, it says that my average shipping time is 1.3 days. I don't want that. I want it to say same day. So believe it or not, I've been on the platform for about 10 days now. I already have repeat customers. A lady bought a shoe like on the second day. She got the shoes already because I ship basically same day. She already ordered again today. So she got her shoes way faster than she thought. She probably wore them for a few days, hopped back in my store, bought another pair of sandals, totally different brand, but same size. And I even DM'd her and said, hey, if you're looking for size 10 and 11, I have so much size 10 and 11. So keep coming back to the store. I'm going to add in literally tons of 8, 9, 10, and 11 because I have found on my Whatnot stream those sizes do the best. So right now, I'm really just thinking about what can sell right now. I've been not listing for about over a year now because I got suspended in April last year. So it's been a while since I started listing, and over the past year, I've sold around 250,000 items on Whatnot. And I have learned a lot about what sells right now, what sells immediately, what sits, how to liquidate inventory, how to not be greedy, how to wait when you're supposed to wait to get all the money. I've learned so many different things. So now in Poshmark, I can get an idea. So this room right here, and a lot of people are watching this series, I don't want to put stuff in here that doesn't make $20 profit. It's just like it's so much work to build an awesome store. It's like such a disgrace to put in items that suck into your store. I understand, like, and the argument is, what if I want to sell something fast that's not $20 profit? Okay, what is fast? Will you guys put in the chat what you consider fast? Because I think a fast is like a week, 2 weeks, a month. But to put stuff in your store, that takes 6 months to sell, and it's not $20 profit. That's really a challenge for me. My inventory system is still just one box, and I love it. I love having a small store. Over the last week, there's a really powerful thing we do on Mondays, which is why can you do your goal? So my goal is to have 70 sales per week in my Poshmark. Why can I? Because over the last week I studied. I found a shoe store on Poshmark that has 10 sales a day already. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start modeling my store after this one because this store is already where I want to go. So I don't need to make a bajillion dollars in this store. This is the size of a one car garage. I want to make $70,000 out of here. I want to buy a minivan. That's like my goal for the money. So let me know in the chat if you think I should go Honda Odyssey or Toyota Sienna. Those are the two I'm looking for. The reason why I ask is the Honda Odyssey has way more cargo room, way bigger, but less reliable. So it's less reliable. It's really fun to drive, but has bad fuel economy. So on the flip side, it's also available immediately. I can go get a Honda Odyssey under MSRP because the market has already tanked on those. But the Toyota Sienna is on fire. Every family wants one. It's hybrid. It gets 36 miles a gallon. Everybody freaking wants that van. It's still selling for over MSRP. So I'm a Toyota fanboy. All my cars are Toyota and they last forever. And I'm wondering, just go with the Toyota. It's slightly smaller cargo room. But either way, with the minivan, I will not need to take the car seat out of my car every single day because I do that every day. Come to work, take the car seat out, and recently 2 car seats out. It's such a pain in the butt. I would love to leave the car seats in there. And a Sprinter van, Ford Transit, those don't make sense because I've never seen people haul kids in those. Maybe you can. I've just never seen that. So in Asia, they call those bread trucks because they look like a loaf of bread. But here, there's not that many loaf trucks. There's only like the Ford Transit and the Sprinter. And the Sprinter is way too big for my purpose. And again, sorry, there's so much information right now because there's so much going on. This is a Q&A. It's supposed to be a Q&A. We're doing a live event here on the first Friday every single month. Last time people came, it was really, really good because they all just basically ate donuts and watched me list 35 items. But next time, I'd like to list just like 5 or 10 items and then watch everybody else list so we can see what other people are doing. Because for me, I haven't listed in over a year. It still only took me an hour and a half to do 35 listings. And I feel like, okay, this is going to sound really crazy, but I just want to ask the chat. Why can't we list every day? Like, you really care about your business, right? It is your livelihood for a lot of people listening right now. Why can't you? It's not, doesn't take that long. Like, if you're really slow, you're at 15 minutes a listing, you don't have 15 minutes, Like it's really odd to me. Why can't you list every day? If we know that people list every day and they get good results from that, why would you choose not listing every day? Like I'm trying to get the like what is the mentality behind don't want to list every day? If you know that it would improve your store and you run a store, don't you want your store to be good? Like in my Poshmark closet, like I really want it to do good. I'm in there like trying to figure out what are other Poshmark closets doing. I know what people are doing that does not work. I have a listing that I don't want to blow up this lady's store, but she has a pair of black board shorts. There's no brand, no name board shorts. They're black and white. She's asking $59 for them. There's no brand. Why? Why would she put it up for 50? That's more than 99% of the shorts on Poshmark that are a good brand. I don't understand why would she list something for $59? Why? And she's using a bot, so it's like it's shared like 1,000 times a day, but it's still not going to sell even if you share it 10,000 times a day. It doesn't make sense to me how a pair of black and white shorts with no brand would sell for $59, even in summer. Like, I don't know. If you were the only short shop on an island, and there are two people living there, they still might not buy shorts for 59. It's like such a tall ask. So in my Posh closet, I'm only listing things I think are gonna sell right away. And I was just thinking, how many people are listing their items at a price that it will never sell? Never. Like no matter what promotions you do, no matter what you do, no matter how many times you share. Like I'm currently using Flip to share, and I realize now Poshmark has a share all now. Like there's a lot more tools than there's a lot more tools on Poshmark than the last time I sold on it. So you can actually share your whole closet now without a bot. So that's pretty interesting. You can also share it to a party and it will filter out those that don't qualify for the party. So Poshmark has made a lot of improvements since I was last on the app and they actually have seller analytics. And this is interesting. I don't know if people can see this. I'll have Christine can hopefully
Mhm.
show this. They have insights now on your sales. So people ask how often before you have regular sales. So I started on the 5th. I had regular sales day one. So like I'm not listing items for fun. Like I'm doing this to earn something. So I haven't had any days with no sales. The first day, the reason why I didn't have sales the first day is because when you just start on Poshmark, they hold your listings for review. So the first day I didn't have any listings for sale. So I listed on Friday, nothing happened because they were being reviewed. Starting from Saturday, I had regular sales. So you don't have to wait till your store has 100, 230, or however many items in your store to get regular sales. As long as you're listing items that sell immediately, you can have sales day one. You don't have to wait for a long time. So I'm really excited to get my eBay account back because now I know all this stuff, and we've been doing the group for so long, and there's 2,000 people giving great advice, and I just feel like I know so much more now. If I do get back on the platform for eBay, I would be really surprised if it's not gangbusters right out the gate because of all the stuff that I know. Okay, that's a lot. So hopefully there's some Q&A. That
There's a
was
lot of
like 20
questions.
minutes of ranting. Okay, let's do it.
Regarding the van, though,
Yeah,
people were saying Outpost says Honda, One Foot Flipper says New Sienna, they are stupidly overpriced
I know.
used.
They're so expensive.
Um, Brian says Toyotas are incredibly reliable.
Yeah.
Steven says Chrysler Pacifica.
Yeah, I just don't like I want to support American products, but the Chrysler Pacifica I feel like will break down.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. If I'm gonna go EV, I would probably go Tesla.
Mm.
But I've never seen anybody use a Tesla as I don't know. I feel like a clown delivering packages in a Model X. I'm not getting a car. That wouldn't fit all the stuff. But I don't know. Can you imagine I'm at the post office with the gull wing? Sounds so stupid. Um,
Marjorie says keep away from Chrysler.
yeah, I don't. I'm not. I don't know. Maybe they're more reliable now.
Mm. Okay, question
Yep.
from the top. One Foot Flipper said, once you get the eBay back, the whole whatnot thing is just over, right?
I don't think so. I think I would start a separate business. The whatnot's going. I have employees that do that full time. I really love my employees. They're doing a really good job. They're very reliable. They know their stuff. They're all style mavens. They know what they're doing. They understand. They've all been in positions of management. So like they can think on the fly. Like if I'm trying to, how can I explain this? If something is broken, they can fix it. Or even better, they know that it's not their problem and they text me that it's my problem and they move on. So that's the best because everything that breaks is my problem. So if something happens, I don't want them wasting their time. So it becomes, and they just know that they're more experienced people. So I think the three people I have over there, I'm going to keep inside here. I honestly think that the best store is 10 to 20, 10 to 30 items a day. Like, so this little project here, I think with 70K, I might just hire a person and pay them 70,000 to run the show forever and not keep any of the money because it just I just want to do an illustration. I want to give you guys a blueprint based on text ideas, and that way you can get an idea of what it looks like. But I think that this little thing I'm going to keep. eBay store at home I might do because that's nice. Running 10 to 30 items from home is nice. 10 to 30 items and driving somewhere, I don't know if that's nice. Unless like you really live in a space that you don't have this size of space, but this is 225 square feet and you guys will watch it. Like one of the reasons why I like showing it like this is people have all these excuses. Like I sold half of what's in this room. It's a staggering amount of stuff and it still has this much stuff in it. So it's just like so much stuff. You don't have more stuff than me, and I can do it. So you can clear out your stuff, sell it quickly, move on to the next thing.
Poshmark New York says, "Hi Chris, when listing on eBay, do I use the suggested price? It just seems lower than I think the price should be. Thanks, Stephanie."
I don't. I use the price based on the market, so I'll research every single item. That's what's taking me a long time on Poshmark and eBay. I'm actually using eBay comps to price on Poshmark, not Poshmark comps, because Poshmark comps are difficult to research. So I'm looking at the last few that have sold to give me an idea of the market, and then over time, you'll kind of have an idea of where you want to price your items. I would not use eBay suggested. It's always going to recommend too low, in my opinion.
The Gig is Up says, "I have baseball card listings with variations that I replenish.
Yep.
I am currently doing 30 new listings a day. If I replenish 10 variations from a listing, should I count that toward my 30 a day?"
I don't. So I have 51 unique listings since I started Poshmark, but I've already sold 54, 55. So I'm not counting replenishing the items as a new listing. I'm counting unique because that way, if I put 10 unique listings into my Poshmark closet every day or eBay, it's keeping that momentum going. And I really don't understand the argument against it. Why would you choose to be inconsistent? Like you have enough time to list every day. Let's get that out of the way. Like, uh, um, right now, I'm a little wrecked because we just started the Dream feed and I'm not used to it. So like, you have enough time. Like, I'm just trying to think here. It's hard for me to just accept that you don't have time to list every day because it's just like only takes a few minutes to list an item. Why can't you do that every day? You care about your store. You care. You feed your kids every day. You feed yourself every day. Use the bathroom every day. Those are things that are important. Like it would be unhealthy for you to not use the bathroom for a day. Same thing with your store. I just think it's like a living thing. I like taking care of things. So I really want to get my somebody. So I on Poshmark I have one star rating and all 5 star ratings, and the 1 star rating is because when I first started, the first 10 items I sold, one of them I took 2 days to ship, and the person got a bad rating because they drop shipped my item on eBay. So they listed my item on eBay for more than I had it listed in my Poshmark closet. I took 2 days to ship it, which is fine according to Poshmark, but it made it late on their 1 day handling on eBay. So they left me a 1 star rating. So maybe I can get that removed, but because I did ship within
Yeah.
the window, but every other one is so I want to maintain a 5 star rating on Poshmark, minimum 4.9, and I want to have same day shipping. And I think, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. If you guys are selling on Poshmark, does it have to be zero point 0.9 on the average day shipping? Because right now it says, I'll show you guys. I want to have same day on my thing, and it says 1.3. 1.3. So it says ships in 1 day. Do I have to be under one to get same day shipping on my? It'll say there how fast you ship. So I want same day. I'm gonna figure out how to do that.
Zach says, "Hi, Chris. I'm currently listing 60 per day and selling 52 average with a 30-pound average sell price.
Love it.
I work from home with my partner and we feel that we're at capacity. What would you say is the next step for us?"
So you can either stay there forever and work on a different business, and that's what I was thinking. Like my Poshmark closet, I'm perfectly content with it making 70K a year and just they'll do something else with my time. I don't have to keep growing it. Um, there is kind of this lingering thing that every year the postage goes up twice, your rent goes up, the cost of goods goes up, so you kind of need to grow to make the same. So that's my only fear is like if you're listing 60 next year, you kind of need to list 65 to make the same as 60. So if you're at capacity, does that mean because you might if you're listing 60 a day, you're probably already pretty dialed in. Um, Either you could list slightly better items or just increase your capacity 10% each year to make up for it. But if you're at capacity and you don't want to make the jump, because in the UK there are these weird rules like at a certain amount you have to start paying VAT, and then at a certain amount you have to start paying even more. Um, so it's like people want to stay in between paying VAT and the other one, which I don't know where you guys are at, but it's kind of funky because in the United States kind of the more you make, the less you're taxed because there are more opportunities to hide money. Like there are more tax benefits if you sell more. There are more options. But ultimately, depending on your tax bracket, you can pay up to half in the United States. So I don't know. It's hard to answer. It's hard to answer that question because what do you want? Do you want to invest into something more passive? Because 60 a day is already a lot. That's like right at the comfortable pace of 30 per day per person. Above that, now it's like it's a bit more of a grind. So I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat? I personally think they should just stop and invest into something else more passive.
Bozo the Clown says, "What store metric would best indicate you should start promoting at a higher percentage than you already are?"
Now after selling on Poshmark, I think a lot of people have no business promoting because they don't know their numbers. So I would say the metric that causes you to promote more is um what would make it I guess how many items you sell per day if that's too slow, but I don't think your items are selling too slow because of lack of promotions. Promotions is either promotions make things sell faster, they don't make things sell to begin with. So, I guess if you're selling 20 items a day and you want to sell 23 items a day, maybe turn your promoted listings up slightly. But if you're selling 0 to 10 sales a day, then don't worry about promoted listings. Because on Poshmark, I don't even know if there are promoted listings and I'm still selling quickly. So try to sell without promoted listings to begin with. The metric would be, in my opinion, how many sales you're getting. If you're getting regular sales and you want to turbocharge it, then promote more.
Travis has a question.
Yep.
"How many times a day are you sharing your Poshmark closet?"
10. 10 is small. My closet currently has 31 active items. So I'll show you guys. On the closet, let's see how long this takes. If I click the share button, I only share the available ones. Okay, so that took 14 seconds. So I'm looking at it constantly because of the offers. So I'm trying to answer offers and questions immediately. So every time I do that, I just share my closet again. So around 10 times per day, I would say. And I'm using Flip to do the automatic offer to watcher, offer to liker thing. But to share my closet, since my closet is so small, I don't think I really need to do that. And I'm Resar Nirvana on Poshmark, and that's also the name of my Patreon mentorship group with tech.
Zane Shaw says, "Hey Chris, hope you're doing well. Do you recommend selling recurring products at break-even price to increase your eBay traffic and then once around 5 sell, change the price to normal? Thank you."
That's a good question. I tried that on Poshmark a bit. I had I have these Clarks. I'll show you guys here. I have these shoes in my Poshmark closet. They're $70 shoes, and I have them priced at 15. Um, I actually make a profit selling them at 9. So I sold a few at 9, and then I've been slowly increasing the price. And I've been doing that on Posh. When it's the last pair, I'm asking a lot more money. So like, there's a pair of Vince Camuto boots I had that I'm profitable at 13. I sold a whole bunch of them at 17, and then the last pair I sold for 35 because it was the last one. So it's kind of like selling a few in the beginning to get that velocity going is better on eBay because you rank higher. So I'm not opposed to that strategy, but you don't have to. You can price it and still make a small profit. You don't have to break even. I think that's like a more advanced replenishable strategy, which I'm going to talk about more in the future because I think retail is dying. All these stores, Patagonia, the mall, they're all being replaced with online, and online is has high returns. So like the store, there's just more new stock than ever, so I feel like there's going to be more opportunities for people to buy overstock, liquidation, store returns, and you're probably going to get 8, 10, 12 of the same thing. So this strategy is good to learn. If you have 12 of them, do you cheap sell 10 of them and break even and then list the last two for all the money and just wait? I don't know. That's what I'm currently doing. Cheap selling a bunch of them, making a couple of bucks to break even, and then the last ones I wait for all the money.
Mm. Wild BTC says, "It seems like the more listings I have, the less I'm selling. Maybe I'm dedicating less attention to specific listings."
It's the items you're listing, 100%. So, as an example, I listed 35 items and sold 24. The 11 that are left suck. They're not as good as the other ones. So, like, if your store is getting bigger and bigger and you're not getting sales, it's because it's all filler. Items that are, in my opinion, they sell slowly and for under $20 profit, those are considered filler. Nothing wrong with filler. It's just, as Tech said, filler is a grind. Have to list a lot, have to babysit it a lot, takes up a lot of space. You can't give it away. That's not the best stuff to have in your store. That's all I have left in my Poshmark closet is filler. So I'm like, this morning I was kind of sad because I turned down a $4 offer on a pair of shoes that's horrible. And I was just thinking, should I have just taken the L? But I haven't lost money yet on a single item on the Poshmark closet, and I kind of like I'm just gonna wait and see if I can get 9 to $11 for it. But like I I thought about taking it on the chin, accepting $4 for it and moving on. But I don't know what you guys think because like the 11 items that are left are not that great. And I already so far I made an average of $16 profit. So I'm learning in this closet which items sell well and which items don't sell well, and maybe just quickly liquidate the items that suck. Because if there's no chance of it making a good profit, maybe you just sell it immediately.
Catherine says, "What do you do about people that ask to cancel their order even after they paid, but you already packaged the item?"
If I haven't shipped it, I'll cancel it because it's gonna get returned. If I've already
Mm,
shipped it, then they'll send it back. They'll just return it.
mm, mm.
You don't want to
Um,
ship something that people don't want. That's 100% guaranteed return.
Auric Goldfinger says, "Chris, I remember a while back on a call with Tech, you said you would do some podcasts or videos on investing income from reselling into real estate and other businesses and investments. Coming soon?"
Tech has that on Tuesday. People will ask him about franchises or opening up a launch. Or like he has 10 different businesses. So on the Tuesday call, you can ask him all about that. There's people in the group now with like 10, 25, 50, 100K to invest, but we're not investment advice. We can show you how to make $20 at the thrift store, but like the what to do with that money is difficult. But the real estate call is the first one that we're gonna start officially with its own separate call later. But right now, it's just built into the Tuesday call. You can ask him any questions, but most people are not ready to start a real estate empire. But he already has a course ready to show you guys how to do it when you get there. Like for me, I I'm like there's so many good deals right now. There's so many $20 bills that I feel like I'm gonna stay where I know and just slowly learn about real estate till I'm ready to pull some triggers. Right now, I just have one rental.
Tommy says, "Is Chris expecting him to get this eBay store back?"
I'm gonna manifest it back. I already said I'm gonna try to get it back this summer. So I don't know how, but you got to throw it out in the universe. And I'm not discouraged if I don't get it back. There are other ways to resell, but I would like to have it back. And I want people to somehow listen to me. And I'm your juice to not get discouraged. Because, like, I don't know why people get discouraged so easily. Like, if you try and it doesn't work, why do people give up so quickly?
Mm.
I don't know. Like, you're an adult at 20 years old or 50 years old. If you try something and it doesn't work, why are people getting discouraged? It's like, I don't know. I really want to be helpful for those people who are getting discouraged and just like everyone is a hot pile of garbage, as I say. Some people are better at hiding it. Just embrace that you're a hot pile of garbage. I do. It's okay. No one cares. Only the people, and plus, like people only want to watch you when you fail. Like they're not there to really cheer you. Like pay attention to who's clapping when you're doing well. Like I get way more people watching me when I fail. Like I didn't get this room done on time. I'm not discouraged. I just need to get my butt in gear and get this cleaned out and start the store. It's only going to take a day or two extra. We were just packing stuff earlier. I sold 2,000 pounds worth of stuff out of here, and it's still,
Like
only
halfway.
one third
Yeah.
empty. So my Fitbit says I'm doing work. I might already be at 10,000 steps, which for me is a lot this early in the day.
Mm. Husty's Emporium says it took him 5 years to get eBay back.
See? So I'm gonna try and manifest. If it took you 5 years, so I'm hopeful one day I'll get back on the platform, and I think I'm gonna be a 30 a day store. So one-legged flipper, 30 a day store at home in my garage.
Mm.
Call it a day.
Bargain Hunter has a question.
Yep.
With a large store being in niche, the chances of having a similar item more than once is high.
Yep.
How do you avoid listing two or more items with the same title and details?
There's a duplicate listing scanner that you can use, but the way to double check is to just search your own store and see what you have. And with a large store, definitely you're going to be selling similar, basically every item. I can't wait to do that with my store. Right now, every single listing on Poshmark in the sneaker category is taking me like 30 seconds because I already listed something really similar.
Mm.
So I'm excited because I can list. I have enough time to list every day,
Mm.
and it's making me very excited. And just got to be really careful. Like this one is blue, this one is green, this one's blue green, this one's yellow blue, this one's blue green. Everything else is the same. You just got to be very, very, very detail oriented.
Mhm.
And Tech said something on the podcast last week that really stuck with me, which was commit to memory what's important. So I haven't been doing that. Somebody will say something important. I'll be like, yeah, 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 whatever. Now I'm like, okay, pay attention. Somebody said something important. Let's try to remember. So, like as an example, when you're like for me right now, I have a newborn. Or Henry is now 1 month old, and I have to try to make sure to go through the checklist. Is he hungry? Is his diaper need to be changed? Is he tired? I have to go check. We're using an app called Huckleberry, and Huckleberry is insane. It's like I'll show you. Um, it tracks like feeding, eating, sleeping, pooping, doctor's appointments, length, head, weight, like all of the things.
Mhm.
So like I have to reference this and try to figure out, okay, baby, what's wrong with you, right? And just if it's important, keep track. So it's just our baby is now sleeping about 4.5 hours. I'm very happy with that. That's like a little bit faster than Natalie, but hopefully he gets to the point where he can sleep 12 hours within a year, and it'll be fine. So if it's important, commit it to memory. I'm feeling like that's a really important thing to learn.
Mm. Thomas says, Chris, personally, what brand would you sell time and time again if you could?
I always say Gucci, but Gucci has some Vero restrictions. So I guess the easiest brand to resell over and over again would definitely be Nike. It's just so easy. Like imagine you had all Nike hoodies. That's a pretty easy store to run. Everybody wants those. Or an Adidas hood, an Adidas graphic, the one that says Adidas with the three lines. Everybody has that. Like if you go to the bagel shop, there's a 16-year-old girl wearing that. So like there's a 45-year-old man wearing the same sweatshirt. That's like so easy. I want to sell stuff that everybody has a bunch of them. I want to sell a Toyota Sienna where like they can charge $5,000 over MSRP for no reason just because so many people want one. Um, They have a $61,000 trim for a minivan. That's so mind blowing to me. Like, I don't know why you would need all those options, but you can get anything you want. I guess if you're a busy family person, and someone wrote to me with 8 kids, and so they actually have two minivans. So maybe if you are spending that much time in your car, then it's worth it. But that's a lot of people, 8 kids.
Caesar says, made over 30,000 profit each year for the last 2 years.
I love it.
Hard to get new sneakers to list all the time, so we keep a backlog to list two per day. Is that better than listing as many as we can and missing some days?
It depends. If you have like multiple quantity, I would just list all of them and look for other things to supplement the store. Like I have here, right? I'm mixing it up. I have the flea market stuff that I find that's going to go into the store, and then I have the replenishable stuff, which is like what you guys are talking about with brand new shoes.
Mm.
Just got to do both to make sure the store is still active. Ideally, you would list new replenishables every day, at least one new style per day, completely new, and that will keep your store the freshest. If so, it's like we're talking about the best results. List everything, every kind of thing in your store every single day. A little bit worse is like this. A little bit worse is like, list sporadically. And I don't know why people keep asking me like, what's the least I can do to get sales? Because that's not. I don't know if that's how it works. I think you should be trying to get the most sales. I don't know if am I the only one here that wants that? I want the most sales.
Mhm.
I don't want I don't know how to even think that way. I've never thought I just want 7 sales. It doesn't. I just think like I want to sell
Volume.
everything.
Yeah.
Every day. I don't want to wait. I don't know why people are always asking me. Like, there's 9 promotions. Which one's the best? All of them. Use all of them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Pam says, do you need to get a tax ID number before you start reselling?
No, you can use your social security number.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has those. So you can be a sole proprietor with your social security number, filing a Schedule C on your taxes. Talk to your local accountant. We have an accountant in our group, Cheryl Miller, and you can tag her. There's actually several accountants in the group, but you can tag her and ask her any questions. And she has a bunch of tax things that you can look at. And but you do not need a tax ID to start. You only really need a tax ID to buy with no sales tax, which is completely unnecessary in the beginning.
Wendy says, how do you feel about sellers who drop ship from Walmart Plus? I ordered a cleaning product from an eBay seller and was deeply disturbed when it was dropped off at my door in a Walmart bag.
I don't mind as long as I get what I'm looking for. Props to them for delivering an arbitrage. Like, I'm not one of those people who's salty and I'll leave them a negative feedback because I got it from Walmart but bought it on eBay. Some people are disoriented when that happens because they're not used to that, but that's common. If you're buying a common household item on eBay, it's most likely coming from Home Depot, Amazon, or Walmart.
Hmm.
Um, yep.
Brianna says, is it true that eBay doesn't really like stock photos? Is it really better to use actual photos?
Um, so my wife doesn't shop from stock photos because she feels like it's fake.
Mm.
She wants to know you actually have it.
Mhm.
So I want to show you guys my photos just as an example. All of these photos and these on this screen, you can see I have the item.
Mhm.
I took all those photos. So even if a stock photo is available, I don't use the stock photo because it doesn't give the customer confidence that you actually have it. So
Mhm.
I want to give customers the actual, like this pair, right? It's not fancy, right? But it's brand new and it's $13. So it's gonna sell like crazy. That photo is not fancy. It's just taken in the warehouse. So what I'm doing is I'm going over to the pallet. I'm opening up all the boxes. I'm taking a picture of all the shoes right there, listing all of them right there. Make sure the quantity is right. I'm not moving them to my photo station because I don't want to move them to the photo station and then back. And I only need to list a few replenishables a day to keep my store going. So list a couple of items a day. I just don't understand why people have such a problem with listing a day if it works.
Mhm. Artie Mike says, I was amazed by the Whatnot shoe sale last Monday. Can you break it down for me? $5 to $40 sales. What were your costs?
Um, Costs are between one third and one half for cost of goods. Right now, they're running a show. If you guys are looking for cheap, good American, they're running a show right now, starting at $1. Cost of goods between okay, I'll give you my global cost for all the things in my store. The average price is $5.01. Used, new, liquidation, shoes, clothes, masks, which I didn't intentionally buy, but they came with a lot. Instapot cooker, um, the Rebecca Minkoff dresses, the dress to population, the handbags, all that stuff, all combined, all together. I use the cost of goods of $5.01. So you can do the math on that. Lots are different because there's more than one item. So if I'm selling 4 items, you can safely think I'm paying $20 for that lot. But it's an average. So obviously some items are worth zero. Those items I lose $5.01. The masks that I got, those all sucked. So I'm so glad that I have Poshmark now to move inventory because I can now do when I get 60 of one thing, perfect for Poshmark, terrible for whatnot. So it's interesting. I'm really glad that I have both now.
Tuplog says, question, what are some best practices to transition from full-time job to full-time reselling?
1 year of savings, full schedule flushed out. So here's an example. I'm full time YouTube, whatnot, Patreon group, but I want to start this Poshmark closet, right? So what do I need? Number one, I need enough space. So I need 225 square feet to build the store that I need. So I'm going to clear this room out and get the space. I need $16,000 total of stuff that I can sell for 70. Maybe you guys should maybe pause the video right now and write this down. I'm going to spend $16,000 or less for things I can sell for 70,000 or more and then maintain that $70,000 threshold and turn my inventory twice. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. Just like I'm gonna ideally sell my inventory through twice a year minimum. Hopefully way faster than that, but no longer than twice inventory per year. So I need to know how much money do I need. I need to know how long it's going to take me to list those items. So it's going to take me 5 hours to list and ship 70 items per week, and I already have the sourcing locked up. So if you guys have the same thing as me, essentially processing wise. You just need to lock in the sourcing part. So before you quit your job, where are you getting the stuff? How much room do you have? Do you know how to do it? Is your store big enough to produce that many sales? Yesterday on Poshmark, I had 10 sales already. So it's kind of like interesting thinking about how many items do you need, but actually you only need 10 items to sell 10 if your sell-through rate is 100% daily. So space, time, skills, sourcing, savings.
Savings, yeah. Bozo the Clown has two questions.
Yep.
One, for pants, do you recommend, oh, they typed it out. So 48 space times space
Yep.
32, or like squished without the spaces for measurements.
I do squished.
Squished. Okay, no
But
spaces.
I do squished, no spaces, and then I put the waist size separate. So I'll go 32 space 32 times 34 personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then second question, what store metric would best indicate you should start promoting at a higher percentage than you? Oh yeah, you already did that.
We went over that. So
Yeah,
I think that you shouldn't use any store metrics for that. You should use your sales metrics. How many are you selling?
Let's see. Armand says, Chris, we need a private label call on Patreon.
Oh boy. The private label call, we certainly can. It's just a different. We're more resale. I consider private label retail. But yeah, we can eventually add that. It's just different because like the private label stuff is you have to have big balls to do that kind of game, and the volume is a lot higher, and it's a lot of different things that people talk about in the private label. I always recommend people to Jeffrey Anderson. He used to be in the group, but he graduated to Amazon. And that's like white collar work. This is the way I do reselling. It's like blue collar work. White collar is like you're sitting behind a computer figuring out what keywords you can pay 39 cents for to make this thing, and then your stuff is made in China and it's inspected and goes straight to Amazon. Like you're never even touching the product
Hmm.
for a private label. So that's like, I'm not good at that, but there are people in the group who are. So eventually we will have that.
Germzo says, I got my first scammer. I know I sent them the right item,
Yep.
but they sent me a return request with a picture of a different one. I am a small seller, so I know it was the right one.
eBay will back you up. Just let them know that they sent you back a return picture. It's not even the thing that you had listed. They will most likely give you a full refund. If not, chuck it up and just move to the next thing. It's going to happen. It's harder to absorb when you're small. That's why I recommend being bigger. And I get a lot of hate for that. People say, I hate that you want people to sell more items, but you need to be able to absorb issues. Like
Mm.
when I watch Lindy Glenn's video, and I find this shocking. I wanted to do a video with her, but she said that she's busy talking, like getting on the Whatnot. And I was just thinking, yo, girl, I do the same thing as you, and I've been on Whatnot for a year. You don't want to talk for like an hour, but she doesn't want to talk. She's busy. But she talked about buying an entire truck of stuff that was unsellable.
Mm.
You got to be selling lots of trucks to be able to absorb an entire truck that's a mistake.
Mm.
So volume solves all of those issues with scammers because it's going to happen. Somebody sent me back a rock. Some people have sent me back empty envelopes. It's just part of the game.
Hmm. Mike is asking, is it still not a good idea to cross post?
You could cross post items that are the same. So, as an example, I have I don't know 40 pairs of the same jean. Could I list those 40 pair on 10 different sites? I can. The thing is it Mike?
Yeah, Mike.
The reason why I don't think that's necessary is that all 10 will sell on any site. So what is the purpose of the only reason the cross post is if you could use that money and list more items. But most people are not listing more items anyway, so what's the point of just not just waiting for it to sell on one platform? I'm so happy being on one platform. I don't know why people want to be stressed out. When I think of people who sell on more than one platform, this is what I think of. Hopefully I have this art. I don't have it. I'm gonna try and find it on Facebook. There's this art that I want to share with you guys that I feel like people who share, I feel like it's a perfect representation. Or we can move on. Let's see. Question.
Um, I'll ask a question then.
Okay.
Wild BTC says, sorry, what are your thoughts on the new dynamic ad rates? It's always 9% or more.
I don't recommend you use that. I just recommend you pick a promoted listings rate that you're comfortable with. Don't use dynamic.
Mm. Uh,
This is what I think of
okay.
when I think of people who cross post. That's how I feel.
Touch to your phone.
Do you just want a life? I don't want to do that. Just list on one platform and wait for it to sell. Why would you want to do this all day, monitoring all these different things? It doesn't. What do you guys think? Agree or disagree? You're cross listing. Don't tell me you're not like that.
And that's like for listing the exact
Yeah,
same
the
item
exact
on
same item on multiple
multiple
platforms. You got to go
platforms.
back and delist and relist
Yeah,
and do all that. And
D-lists.
I want to have a life outside of work. I don't want to be stuck
Yeah, it's
managing different
extra work.
platforms.
Benji says, the longest part of my process is prepping clothing items, cleaning marks, steaming, letting things dry.
Yep.
How do I make this more efficient? What is your process?
The most efficient way would be to do all of it before photographs and then just come home, spot treat as it goes into the laundry, right? When it comes out, put it in the dryer. If it requires more work, get it all done before. And the best way is just to do it before it enters your area. So in here, I will only be bringing in clothes that are clean and ready to list. So nothing is going to come in here not ready to photograph. That's the fastest way.
Mm.
And it should be the most time consuming part of your business. I have allocated 1 minute per item for it.
Lisa says, what are your thoughts about some brands buying back their product, asking for pre-loved like Madewell and Lululemon?
That's great. They're realizing they're getting into the game.
Mm.
I'm starting the toy call, guys. Every week we have 15 category specific calls, and right now is the toy call for toy sellers. Um, Toys is a category that you don't need as much space. Philip in the group, he does multiple six figures in a room smaller than this. So toys are nice. Um,
Hmm. Another question. Chris, do you do all your business on Poshmark and whatnot? And what's that like compared to eBay?
Currently, yeah, and a little bit of wholesale
On your own website.
on my own website, dailyrefinement.com. And I
Okay.
have 14 more jean lots, and then I'm sold out. So I'm gonna try to find. I had four people take me up on that offer of buying 500 jeans, and none of them are local. So I'm still looking for one person who lives in Northern California to take me up on that offer that can drive here. Like with that, not like multiple hours to get here, like close. Somebody here actually close that can do this. I can give them really good deals and not charge shipping. But it still makes sense. Like just better if you have a other method. So there's a lady on the East Coast who's been buying from me regularly. She also has a thrift store. This is like the best thing ever. She gets the lots from me. All the good items she lists on eBay, the bad items go into her thrift store. That is like excellent. Very smart. She's killing it. So you got to have a method to sell all of it. So for me, I'm going to put only $20 bills into my Poshmark or replenishables or fast selling items that are filler. I think I can sell within 1 month. Those are sort of the three categories. Because when I buy from the flea market, I don't only get $20 off items. Some of the items are lower. So I just want to sell those fast. I'm literally going to be annoyed if they don't sell within 7 days because I want it gone. Even better would be if I just wholesale all of them to somebody for $6.50. That's what I was thinking. I buy them for 4, sell them for 6.50 to somebody else. They can clean it. They can recondition the shoes. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to list the shoes that are ready to go.
What a Nancy says, does the percentage that you promote at on eBay really matter? I promote at 2.2% and see fairly regular sales from it.
I don't think you need to promote at all. But the best eBay seller ever promotes at 10%. So is there a diminishing returns number? Yes. When I went to eBay and participated in their promoted listings seminar thing to test, they had at this promoted listings rate, you get one standard deviation of all the results. So like something like I'll give you guys an example. 2%, this is not the real number. 2% you get 50% of the customers from promoted listings. 60% you get 80%. Or 6% promoted you get 80%. 10% promoted you get 99.9% of people who are looking for that item, right? At that point, it doesn't make sense to promote more than 10% because you're only getting 0.1% of the people. You've already won. You already win the bidding. Beyond that, you're just giving eBay money they don't need. That's why people are getting addicted to this dynamic number. eBay will just tell you what number you should do it, but I don't want to trust them to do that because they're always going to pick 20. I'm not going to have them control my destiny. I'm going to pick a number I'm comfortable with. Like this lady has picked 2.2, and that's probably because on one of my videos I said 2.1. So everyone wants to do the bare minimum. So she's doing 2.2. So now that you said that, I'm going to change mine to 2.3 and we'll start this game.
Um, Caesar says, does it make sense to list items high that are somewhat limited and just waiting for supply to run out, even if it takes a year or two?
For me, no. I'm not in the storage business. I want stuff gone. If you like looking at your items, then yes. If you want them sold, then no. If you want things to sell quickly, do not do that. Special, somewhat limited, hell no. Like actually rare, okay. Actually rare. And Tech was making this like he was saying like, does anything you have is it actually rare or just like uncommon? So what do you mean by somewhat limited? That means not. Somewhat limited means not that limited. So if it's actually rare and worth it, if you find the Mona Lisa, sure. Wait 10 years to sell it. But if you find something like a cool Looney Tunes shirt, no. That's like there are millions of those.
Allison is asking, what watch are you wearing?
I have a Omega Speedmaster. One day I'll get a Rolex. One day I'll get there. One day I'll get there.
Scante says, any tips on finding rag houses?
Yes, Google. Google is the best, but you can find rag houses by going to the flea market and finding out where they sell to. Because oftentimes it'll go Goodwill stores, retail, then Goodwill outlet, which is Goodwill bins to flea market to rag house. So my friend was here just telling me that in every country there's a hookup, and goods that don't sell get sent to that country to the hookup, and somebody goes and sells it in the village or does something with it. So like there's a long road, but I would say I would find rag houses through the flea market. Get tight with all of the vendors there and figure out where they go if they don't sell. Because flea market vendors who know their stuff, every week they have new stuff, which means that at the end of the day, they are liquidating it somewhere. So that's how I would look for rag houses that are not on the normal Google.
Mohammed says, hey Chris, I've just made my first £1,000 this month.
Nice.
My main business is advertising agency, and they have a film degree.
Nice.
They sell video games on eBay. How can I source more? How can they source more?
Great question. So, this is going to sound really weird, but we have the biggest video game seller in the world in our group. His name is Brad. He's on the media call. He has 42 employees and they sell millions of video games a year. Guess where he gets his games? eBay. So Jack does $1 million in the group on Amazon as well, and he's our like more relatable guy. So on Fridays we have our 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time video game call specifically. Jack will go over how he sources, but it's not a secret. He sources on eBay. He buys lots. They come to his house. He splits the lots up and sells them individually. That model, that's how everybody does it. Even the biggest seller in the world does it the same way. And this is going to sound maybe obvious, but the guy that sells the most video games in the world is the largest buyer on eBay of video games. Makes sense. That's where he gets them. So he's in a town with only one stop sign and no stop lights. So don't say that you live in the middle of nowhere and you can't do this, because if you live in the middle of nowhere, labor is much cheaper. You can have 42 employees in the middle of nowhere. Here, you got to be like Airbnb to have 40 employees. It's really hard to have that big of an operation.
Lisa says, what do you do with products that were taken down by the brand slash Vero?
Never list them again and then sell them locally. That's what I would do. I'll give you a brand. Atrix. You can't sell it on eBay really. Aetrex. I'm selling them on Poshmark. So if they ask me to stop, I'll sell them on Craigslist. They ask me to stop, I'll sell Facebook Marketplace. If they tell me to stop, I'll donate them. Like I try to stay away from brands that they don't want you to list their things, because eBay likes the relationship that they have with that brand over their relationship with you. They will ban you in a second.
Nicole is asking, how long did it take you to get to $100,000?
Um, in gross or profit?
I'm
It
assuming profit.
profit. When I first started, it took me a year and a half. Now I think I could get to the point where I'm making $10,000 profit in three
100,000.
$100,000 profit. Definitely now the first year I would do that.
So if you're just starting.
If you're just starting, 2 or 3 years. 2 or 3 years if you know what you're doing. Never if you don't. So if you take the time to really learn and get like an MBA in how to sell, then 2 or 3 years, just like a normal degree. If you don't take the time to learn, never. There's 90% of resellers will never make $100,000 profit because they never take the time to learn their niche.
Minecraft is asking, hey Chris, what's your opinion on Vinted? It's currently the most popular selling platform in the UK, and it's how I've been sourcing all of my products to flip.
It's great. Vinted, Grailed, Vestair Collective, Depop. These are all Mercari, Poshmark. They're all great platforms. And if you have great items, they'll sell on those platforms. If you have a great vintage anything, it'll sell on any of those platforms. A great men's item, any of that stuff will sell on any of those platforms. It's just all about getting the right stuff and then having the correct listings. I found a seller on Poshmark. I think he's probably in the group, but I'm just going to show you. I screenshotted it. Let's see. Oh, here we go. So I'm going to block out his name. I'm going to block out his name and just.
Do you want me to? I can hold my finger over it, or what is a picture?
Yeah, I'll just do it from afar. They can't read, right? Okay,
Sure.
so I found this is an example. I found this closet, and this person already has 10 sales a day in the shoe category that are $20 profit. So I just found them, and I'm just doing what they do. I also found this person that I'm not going to show you the. I don't know if they can see. Can you guys kind of see the screen or not? Not at all.
It looks purple for some reason.
Okay.
But, I mean, you can kind of see it. It looks kind of busy.
Okay. So maybe from here you guys can see all this
There's,
text.
text on.
All text.
Yeah.
So this lady on Poshmark spent hundreds of hours making all these text posts that no one cares about. And I'm just thinking, who told her that making these long things that, like, if you buy from me, you're a great person and you'll have a great day tomorrow. It has nothing to do with it. Who cares? They're looking, people want shoes and clothing for cheap. Putting this, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. It takes so long to make that. Just list 2 items.
Thank you for the super chat. Sorry I missed it.
Thank you,
when
super chat.
Posted it. It was from Blood, Sweat, and Cell.
Blood, Sweat, and
Thank
Cell.
you.
Love it. Thank you.
It said, "LOL, you got a rock as well." Like
I got a
someone
rock,
returned
yeah.
a
But it
rock.
actually was a good rock. It was a piece of coral.
Yeah, it was
So
like
I-
a fossilized.
I don't
coral
know if
rock.
if that was just a joke. Like they sent me a valuable rock. It sold for like $40. So that's
So there
like
you go.
it was a really valuable rock that somebody sent me back.
Okay, question from Cassidy Productions.
Okay.
They say, could you please share which person in your group created a photography setup that mimicked yours but was on wheels? I have rewatched many of your videos but cannot seem to find her creation.
So in the guide, it's in the main section, right? The sheet that has everything. Her name is Eleanor, and Eleanor's setup is linked on the very first page. So on the very first page, I want to find it for you guys.
This is in your Patreon.
This is in our Patreon, so I'll show you
Yeah.
guys. I'll show it to you because it's awesome. So
She's a teacher, right?
she's a teacher,
Yeah, that was
and
the part.
it's so beautiful. I love it.
She, like, organized it so nicely.
Here we go. It's actually the very last link in the group. So here we go. Let me click on it. Oh no, what happened to it? Let me see. I guess not. Let me find it. I'll find it for you. Her name is Eleanor. Here it is. Oops. Eleanor. So, she actually made a 1-minute video. Hold on. Why is this? I guess we'll just have to show the. So essentially, she made a 1-minute video going over her photo setup that she made. It's on wheels. She can roll it outside. It's awesome. She's a teacher, and these are the best kind of posts because people share how they made a DIY awesome thing. She's also a nutritionist. She's a wonderful lady.
Yeah, so this is in your Facebook group.
This
You
is in the
shared
Facebook
this,
group.
which you can join at patreon.com/the Resellers
Yep.
Podcast.
But she has there's a mannequin set up in the back, and there's it's so cool. So you can take pictures of anything on it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh yeah, because there's like a little flat lay area as
There's
well.
a flat lay
right?
area
Yeah,
on
like
the
if,
back.
if you're doing shoes or whatever. Yeah, it's really cool. Let's see. I had a question. Ready?
I really want a V8 minivan though. So someone can help me figure out how to do that because that'd be my dream come true. V8 minivan. They don't make those. I don't know why. Why can't they put a muscle car engine in a van? It's really frustrating to me because I feel like there's a market for that.
Okay. question. Looking for a question.
We'll do two more questions, guys.
The Meme Factory says, so I've been off and on reselling for a few years now and have been a member on eBay since 1999. I
Nice.
am now starting to start religiously reselling. What should I do with all of my old inventory of 200?
Sell it all. What's the other option? Yeah, you should just sell all of it. Get some cash to work on your newfound thing. So I'm gonna estimate here, and we'll see how far it will take me. I think that by this is gonna be intense. Next week at 12, we'll do a live here. Can I even commit to this? Let me see. Okay, I'm doing it. Next week at 12. So next week now, this will be done. I'll have the whole thing done. So I'm gonna have Christine come here as normal as at 10, and from 10 to 12 in 2 hours, I'll put together all of the things, and she'll film it. That we could talk about the video. But I apologize for this not being ready today, but it will be done next week. I already know because I have 16 more lots which I should sell on my website this week. Those will all be on. These are all T-shirts. I'm gonna throw them all into the thing. I have 3 racks back here with Pokemon cards. Take all that home. I have a shop vac behind us that I'm gonna vacuum. Ready to go. Bring all the supplies in here. Let's go. Can't wait. Come back 12 and the whole shop will be ready to make 70K starting on Monday. Also, we have a shut up and list room now. In the shut up and list room, I want people to come to their session. So like my gym gave me this idea because they have 80 trainers and classes 24/7. So what I want is like Jen Maxwell. She's awesome. She has the shut up and list room like on Mondays, and they list 70 items together, her and a bunch of her friends. So I was just thinking, let's do that, and I'll do 2 sessions a week where I knock out my 70 listings. I want to do twice a week, list my items and go. But next week, my plan is come here in the morning from 10 to 2 or 10 to 12. We'll set up everything, make that video, and then at 12 we'll do a Q&A live, and you guys can ask me questions about the new setup. And the only thing that I'm wondering is, should I paint this room? Because this lighting is atrocious for videos, I'm
So
assuming.
there's a bulb there and then a long strip there.
Yeah, so I feel like we leave the light off and bring in our own lighting.
Yeah.
Like-
I mean, it doesn't look terrible right now.
Don't YouTube studios like paint it black and like
And then have like
that,
mood lighting in the back.
have that and the mood
we have your
lighting in the
neon
back.
sign still.
And yeah,
Yeah,
and
we
then
should
the
put your neon
fancy
sign.
and the fancy like gigantic light right on your face.
Yeah, like a spotlight.
The spotlight. So, but oh, wait a minute, is the lighting not that bad?
It's not that bad right now.
Okay, so maybe
We're
we
getting
just keep the
most
lighting.
light from here.
Okay.
So you're facing it, so it looks okay.
Actually, I want 2 more questions. Let's do 2 more questions, guys.
So next week our live will be on at noon.
Next week our live is at noon.
And whether we like it or not, you're gonna see what this
You're
room
gonna
looks
see
like.
what it looks like. I'm hoping it should be done because there's not that much left in here. We sold the majority of the stuff.
Yeah.
You couldn't even walk in here earlier.
Yeah.
So we sold all this stuff here. Again, this is perfect because this is the size of a 1-car garage. So those of you that have all that junk, have a garage sale this weekend, and just make a sign, no offer denied, and just sell everything. And what I would do is lot it up. Be like, you want my Nintendo 64? You gotta take this whole section of garbage with it, and they'll take it out. You'll get your whole garage back, and you can start doing it like me. And I'm super motivated because I'm gonna have 1 row of shelves behind this way, and if I can have a 1% sell-through rate, then I don't need to have. I can just do it with 2 shelves. So that's super exciting. Then I don't have to go back and forth. So I'd love to knock that out. Yep.
All right, join us next week then.
Yep.
But we'll do a couple more questions.
Okay.
Nicole and Big Chills have questions that relate to each other. Nicole's asking, how long did it take you to find your niche? And Big Chills is asking, for us noobs, what does Chris mean by know your niche?
So I mean, pick a category. So I'm a big fan of the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I have a link that's bit.ly/ecom books that has all the books that I recommend. But James Clear said that if you don't know, 80% of your time should be testing. So like, buy a hat, buy a blender, buy a bread maker. So of the 10 items, right? Buy 8 completely unique random things and then 2 doubles. Does that make sense, guys? So you're going to buy toaster, bar of gold, microphone, guitar, piano, iPhone case. And at the very end, the last piece, you're going to buy 3 of them. So you're going to buy 3 jackets. That we can kind of get an idea. Okay, I listed 3 jackets. Do I like that? Do I like listing microphones? Do I like listing pianos? To get an idea of testing. In the beginning, you don't know everything. Everybody's an everything seller in the beginning. So how long did it take me to niche down? 5 years, sadly. It took me a really long time to niche down into women's clothing. And to be honest, I like it. I like knowing that sizes 8, 9, and 10 women's shoes sell well for me. I like looking at dresses and oddly like extra small kill it, and then like large kills it. Medium is like and then extra large and plus sizes don't do well for me. But for some people, plus sizes do really well. But for me, not so much. Pretty much large, extra small, and small. So it's like I like knowing more about it. So people ask me, would I rather be huge and move volume or be an expert? It would be much cooler, in my opinion, to be an expert um, and sell 30 items a day times $20 profit. That's almost $200,000 a year out of like a 2-car garage. That's badass compared to moving millions of items and only making $1 per item. That's not as cool. So it took me 5 years to niche down in the women's clothing and women's shoes. That's where I'm at. Men's shoes are too hard to acquire. It's not my jam. I don't want. I'm not waiting in line. I'm almost 40 years old. I have no swag, so I'm not gonna sit in line with 19-year old people who had the coolest gear on. I'm too old for that. So I just want to be a niche at basically 40 to 90-year-old women is my category. So that's where I'll stick for now. But I appreciate you guys next week. Can't wait to see this transformation. Thank you guys.
Yeah. See you next week, noon Pacific Standard Time. All right. Bye.